Hi, everybody. Yay. Welcome to Let's Color. I'm running a little bit late this morning. I apologize. I started fiddling around in the kitchen and realized that it was getting late. So I apologize. My kitchen's a little bit of a mess and need a little picking up. And I am so excited for today's video. This video is going to be so cool. I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see this really good. Without seeing me, I got my cozy sweatshirts. It's kind of chilly this morning. So I think today that I want to use my new Ohuhu, markers. I love these markers. They're so cool, and I'm so excited for this. Um, I've been working on a new coloring book, and it's called Field of Flowers, and I'm getting ready to release it in February, kind of to go along with Valentine's Day. And I'm also working on a Love Through the Ages Valentine's Day coloring book. So I'm really, really excited. So I'm looking forward to coloring this. So we have got our, going to show you again, bazillion colors here. And so I'm going to go ahead and set these to the side. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Also, today we're working with our Labradorite. I thought Labradorite wanted to be a part of our coloring today. Labradorite is such a fun crystal. It is something that kind of connects you to the divine. It connects you to things that are kind of beyond the physical, right? I'm very much into the metaphysical, into spiritual. I do a lot of meditation, um, and like energy healing and that kind of stuff. And for those of you that don't know, I am a energy healer. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a life coach. I'm all that good, delicious, yummy stuff. I'm very much into using the intuition and developing the intuition and the chakras and all that kind of stuff. And so the coloring book and all the coloring stuff is an extension of that. And so that's why I'm so into like what we put down here, which I see is opposite of what it should be. Let me see if I can change that. Let me see if I can go in here. Hang on just a minute. Be with me for a second. And I think I can do this with the camera and make that not be, no, nope, that does not matter. I don't know. I'm going to figure out how to turn that around. Before it wasn't backwards. So I don't know how to flip it. Doot, 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 doot. It says disable the camera. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So let's just keep going. Um, our theme today is bloom where you were planted. Bloom where you're planted. What does that mean? You know, I had a friend years and years ago who had a uh, she made flower arrangements, like beautiful flower arrangements for people, and she delivered them all over our area. And the name of her company was Bloom Where You're Planted. And I thought that was so wonderful. And it always made me think about like what does that really mean? And part of the reason I used this statement for this is because it's so important that we live where we're at, that we're not always looking, to, oh, when I become this, then I'll be happy. Or when I get $1 million, then I'll be happy. Or, if I just have the perfect boyfriend or girlfriend or friend or situation or dot 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 dot, then I'll be happy. But to focus on being happy now. And that's part of the reason I love coloring too, because it's about being happy now. It's about being present now. It's about having fun right now, even if the circumstances aren't what we want, even if it isn't perfect, even if my camera leg is showing, even if I'm here, even if it isn't perfect, we can still have fun. And so let's do that today. So, what colors are we going to use? Look at this flower garden, guys. Isn't this just, I love it. It's got a million different flowers. I don't know my flowers. So I'm just going to color these what I want. We got some little butterflies up here. You know, we've got, it looks almost like a chrysanthemum. One of this, just beautiful. And so think about kind of what colors you want in there, or don't. We can just go rogue. We can go off roading and start wherever the heck we want to. And you know what? I want to start with this one right here. I love him because he's got a little, like a little broken little petal there. And so I want to give this little guy some love, and I want this one to be pink. And I want to use this pink. It's the cerise, right? And so it's this one. Oh, I love it. And getting started, I'm just going to kind of do the outline a little bit of this. Because remember how we, I'm going to do this little guy. Boop. Aww, so cute. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to do every petal with this color on it. I think I might just bring the color in just a little bit, just around some of the petals. Not necessarily all of them, following the curvy on these two. Just to get started. You know, for me, I don't know if it's for you guys too, but a lot of times it's just getting started is where I kind of struggle, you know. So that's why I like to just pick a color I like. I always love pinks. I always love the pink colors, and just get started, right? Just start somewhere. So I'm going to put that in there, and I think this one right here is kind of the same. So I'm just going to put a little, I'm just going to put a little pink around some of these just to get started. And the cool thing is we can color over anything we want to. We can change the color, we can change the motif, we can change anything that we want to. This is our painting, right? You know, earlier when I was getting ready, I was thinking about, I remember when I was like in my teens, and I always loved to color. You know, I think this guy's another one of these too. I always loved to color, but I didn't feel like I was very good at it, and I you know, always had color books, always had sketchy books. I was always sketching and writing poetry and all that kind of stuff. You know what young girls do, and some young boys. It's not just a girl thing. We know we're all sensitive. But I took a painting class one time, and I took it with my mom. And God bless my mom. She was such a patient woman. But we were making these drawings, and it was, and I may have shared this with you before, but it really stands out. This whole experience for me really stands out about, how we think about ourselves. But so we took this art class, and my mom and we were doing paper bags. We were drawing paper bags, and we drew them. And I thought my painting was pretty good. I mean, my drawing was pretty good. I could tell it wasn't perfect. I could tell. I could look at the bag and look at my picture and see that it wasn't perfect. But I was kind of proud of it. I was like, that's not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to give myself credit. I got good. Well, when we got our grades back, my mom got like an A plus plus plus, and I got a B minus or a B or something. Um, and I was absolutely mortified. So mortified. So embarrassed that I got such a low grade of a B. Oh my God. That I wouldn't go back to the class. And my mom, she's so awesome. She continues and she finishes the class, and she did really, really good. And, I didn't color or do anything like that for a really, really long time. And it never occurred to me that my mom had done anything wrong. It was like I wasn't mad at my mom. I was mad at myself. I was mad at not being perfect. I was mad at not being able to color. I was mad that I wasn't this perfect artist. And it followed me for a long, long time. And it's only just been in the last 5 or 6 years that I've really given myself permission to just do art. I started with the painting class. And so it's so important that we just not let those little things hold us back. Don't let the little things hold you back. So these little ones down here, I'm going to add, I don't even think this color is that much different than what I'm using. So the reason I share that story with you guys is I want you to know that you don't have to be perfect. We're not here to create works of art. We're here to enjoy. We're here to have fun, right? And I notice I watch a ton of shows on YouTube, trying to figure out how to give you guys a great show, right? How to give you guys a great YouTube. And so many of them, like, they're so aesthetically perfect and everything is perfect, and they have studios and their art is so fantastic and their videos are just amazing. And I love it. I love watching them. But I realized that there's a place for us too, where it's just, I'm sitting here in my office on my office table, and we're just hanging out, right? We're just hanging out. We're just being buds. And there's a place for this too. Very casual. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be fun. So what other color do we want to put in here? I kind of want a yellow. We need a yellow, don't we? And I love my fluorescent yellows. But I'm gonna use a gold one. I'm gonna use pastel yellow. Let's see what this is gonna be. And let's do this little guy up here. That is not very pastel. Something else that I wanted. I had my friend helped me out yesterday. Shout out to you, Christy. When you're printing your pages out, because I was printing my pages out and they were coming out really, really dark. And I was printing them out with the setting of black and white only. Yeah, this yellow is too dark. I don't like this yellow. I like bright colors. Let's try this one. This one is called lemon yellow. Oh yeah, we want some lemon yellow. But what I wanted to tell you guys is I printed it out on the color setting, and it came out way more clear, not so much of the grayscale, because I like the grayscale. It gives depth, you know. It gives depth. It gives us something to kind of like get our yummy perception into, and to be able to use that. But it was also, ooh, oh my gosh, I felt like I needed to color this little guy. And it gave us more coloring surface, right? More white areas to color. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. My throat is gruffly this morning. I got my fancy voice out for you guys this morning. And you know what? I kind of want to put some yellow in here too. I'm just doing some dots. Dot, 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 dot. We'll come back to that. And you know what I'm going to do? I realize that a lot of these flowers on here are kind of the same color or the same kind of flowers, but we don't have to color them the same. They can be very, very different if they want to. I'm going to bring in a deep purple. I want this chrysanthemum up here to be this beautiful deep purple. And what I'm going to do, this one is really detailed, so we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to allow ourselves to do some of the detail here. Now, we'll come back in and we'll color it. And it's got all these tiny little, and just put some of these in here. I want to get this color in here just to kind of start looking at things that way. And this is really tiny. It's almost like, kind of almost just want to go with this, right? That's an official artist word. There we go. Yeah. There we go. That gives us a little something to see up there, right? That gives us a sweet little something to see. And I still want a bright yellow in here. I need a bright yellow. I got these kind of golden yellows. I'm going for it, guys. I'm going for the fluorescence. I can't hold back anymore. I love fluorescent colors. When I do my painting, my acrylic painting, I always have a ton of fluorescence in it. I always have a ton of fluorescence. I hope you guys can't hear my floor heater. And then let's go. I'm gonna bring this yellow into here. And I'm just gonna really kind of oh, I want to be careful. I want to bring this yellow into this baby. This guy's screaming for yellow, screaming to be yellowized. Oh, I love it. That's what I want to see. And I actually kind of want this bright yellow in here too. Look at that. See, I always need to just kind of get started, just kind of gentle. And then I find that I start getting braver, right? I'm going to put a little bit of this yellow here. And I'm actually coloring outside the line to give almost like the bright fluorescent kind of outside the lines. I love doing that. I love doing it. It's almost like it's the aura. I am I am somewhat intuitive in as that sometimes I see things like auras and that kind of stuff. And so I love to color with that kind of image, especially if I'm seeing it kind of in my vision there. And so, how many of you guys are kind of intuitive? How many guys have little psychic abilities, if you will? We used to not be able to talk about stuff like that, right? It was kind of like, ooh, that's scary stuff, that's bad stuff. But you know what? My experience tells me that we're all intuitive. I work with a lot of different people, and I do therapy with people in art therapy and life coaching and hypnotherapy, and I teach classes on spiritual development. And everybody is intuitive. Everybody has had that moment where they just know something and they know it, but they don't know how they know it. And that's kind of what it is, or that's how I've experienced it at least. Look at all of this. Look at all of this. It's getting fun. What I do is I use kind of the gold yellows up here to get that color in there. And then I'm going to bring the fluorescent yellow in to give it the bright. Give it this bright. Look, isn't that yummy? And then these little buds, they're a little bit darker, but these ones add more of the gold. And so I'm actually going to bring that over here. I'm going to bring it to this big. And for anybody who knows their flowers, I want you to please forgive me right now that I don't know my flowers, that I'm not, that I'm not being very good about having my flower knowledge to share with you today. Look at that. I like that. And you know what? Now I feel like this is giving me permission now to using the finer tip here and to start outlining. This is actually the brighter pink. And start outlining here. I really want these. I want more pink in here now. We've got lots of yellow, and I want to bring more of this pink in here. So I'm using the finer tip too, right? Oh, and forgive me. I've been painting with acrylics, and it makes my skin so dry, and I wasn't paying attention, and my cuticles got dry there. But you know what? Like I said, We're not here for perfection. We're here for the fun. We're here to enjoy. If we got little imperfections, yay, imperfections. It's what keeps us human, right? It's what makes us beautiful and wonderful and glorious, is our dry cuticles. Ooh, look at that. We're bringing some depth into there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's finish all these petals. Let's finish all the edges with the yellow. I mean with the pink. Boop boop. I hope everybody's doing good. You know, we're well into January now. Ooh, this year is shaping up. You know, I don't watch the news that often. I'm just not, I've never been a news person. When I was growing up, we didn't really watch TV, so I've never been much of a TV person, but you can't help hear, about some of the stuff that's going on and it's going on in our world. And I always like to think that when we're coloring, when we're doing things that are creative and beautiful, when we're creating beauty and when we're being in our happy place, that we're putting that vibe out into the world. And I know it's hard, and it doesn't mean we're disrespecting those that are struggling right now or those that are really having a hard time. We're not disrespecting them by choosing to be in our joy. We're actually lending some energy out into the world that is of a joyous nature, that is of happiness, because we need that too. And I always like to think, when we're doing this, that we're sending that joy to those who are suffering, right? And so let's do that. Let's do that today. Let's lend all of the joy that we're experiencing today with coloring and making color marks and just playing and being in our joy. Let's set the intention that we're sending this beautiful energy out to anyone who is not able to be in that joy place right now. And let's send that out to the world, that there's a lot of people struggling. And let's send happiness and peace and joy out to everyone. And as we sit here and we have our peace and joy, I'm pulling out kind of a cornflower blue. I want these up here to be blue. Ooh, that is way too dark, my friends. Way too dark. Although I love that color. Isn't that yummy? Let's try something. Let's try this. Up much better. And again, I'm just doing, and you know what I'm doing is I'm treating this almost like it's kind of like how lavender grows. I'm going to leave some of the, because I'm not quite sure what this is. Oop, I'm going to move it closer to me over here. And these maybe are supposed to be green, but I don't care. This is our coloring, right? This can be whatever the heck we want it to be. And we are going to be here in joy and happiness and love and having fun, so we can send more of that kind of energy out into the world. And so let's do it. Ooh, I love that. Isn't that fun? Puts that up there. I want to kind of find more of that down in here. I want some blue down here. I don't know what kind of flower this is, but it is heretofore known as a blue flower. A blue flower amongst the many. See, this one could even be. Could bring some blue in here. I want more of these. I like those. And I'm wondering if we can't kind of want to bring some more. I'm doing the fluorescent yellow, my friends. I can't help it. Looks like there's a little bud over here. I'm going to yellow that baby out. Ooh, I found some more blue ones. Isn't this fun? It's like a treasure hunt. Look at that little blue one sticking out back there. I see you. And I kind of want to, I know these are kind of like dead leaves or leaves that are maybe from the blossom, right? That then begin to fall away. But I want to give them some love. I want to give them, I'm going to bring in the yellow first, and then I think I'm gonna bring some detail around them to give them more depth a little bit later. I'm just gonna bring in. Oop, sorry, my arm is over the picture. I'm sorry. I'm reaching across the desk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that brings some good color in there. And where else can we put some yellow? I feel like I want some more yellow. I almost want to take a couple of these leaves. Oh, look at this over here. Yeah. This wants to be yellow. This wants to be yellow. I've got my little watermark over here. Please forgive the watermark, but you got to do that. There's so many people that don't don't want to take the time to make their own things, and I understand. I mean, I do. I know. Is that crazy? I get it, but don't. I get it, but don't do it. Very fun. This, you know what? I'm doing this yellow. I know it's supposed to be green. I know it's supposed to be a leaf, but I just want to bring that yellow into there. I just want to bring that yellow into there. So before I do these big pictures, I'm going to get some of this greenery in here too. The greenery. I want to have a sip of my little coffee. Do you guys, you know what? I haven't even talked to you guys about when we're coloring. Make sure you have a cup of something either warm. Right now, it's wintertime in the northern hemisphere. If you're watching from the southern hemisphere, get something nice and icy cold. Northern hemisphere, get something hot and warm and yummy. Ooh, ooh. I've started making my morning coffee and turning it into kind of a healthy drink. Um, my gosh, I can't seem to get this straight. I'm turning it into a healthy drink, and I'm I'm putting, oh, check this out. It's so good too. I'm using I put collagen. So I use a coffee, and I'm using instant coffee. I know you can use regular coffee. I just use instant coffee because I only want one cup. I don't drink a lot of coffee. If I drink too much coffee, I get a little bit crazy. Um, so what I do is I put a scoop of collagen, I put turmeric, put some cinnamon, I put a little bit of black pepper, and I'm putting a little bit of cayenne pepper. So all of those herbs, turmeric is really good for the whole body, for healing, for pain. I have a little arthritis. I'm kind of getting old. Um, and the cinnamon is good for your heart, for your blood. The cayenne is good for your heart and your blood. It expands your it expands your blood vessels. You know, it gets the blood flowing, kind of warms up the body in a good way. Um, and I use the collagen because we all need collagen, and especially when we get older. Not that I'm old, but and I use it kind of as my little health drink. And so I put a lot of cayenne pepper in today. So when I took that sip, I was like, "Whoa, holy moly!" But it's good. All right, I'm gonna use kind of a mossy green. This is called deep olive green, and just gonna start doing some of the stems, maybe. Oop, let go. Maybe some of the thinner stems. Gonna kind of go up here. All right, just doing some of the things that are stemmy. Whoops, I'm not drawing very straight today, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, we got lots of stems over here. I'm not really gonna do leaves just yet. I want to kind of get some of the darker green colors in here again, just for definition. And you know what? I want to tell you guys, I'm not like an artist. I'm I'm a novice at all this stuff, in case you hadn't noticed. But I just kind of follow my intuition. I was talking about intuition before. We all have intuition. We all have that kind of inner knowing. And it's really important to start trusting it. It's important to kind of think back on times when it's like you kind of knew something, but you didn't know how you knew. And a lot of times we discount that. A lot of times we discount that. It's like, oh, I don't know, it was just a coincidence. But coincidences are founded in something. And we all have a deep inner knowing. And it's important to acknowledge that because that's kind of our connection to kind of a higher wisdom that we all have too. Some people call it divine connection, some people call it intuition, some people call it coincidence. We have a million words for it, but it's all important, you know? It's all worthy of our attention and our appreciation and our acknowledgement because we're all just such amazing beings, you know? We really are. I think a lot of times as humans, we don't take the time to acknowledge how freaking amazing we are. And so I want to remind you guys that you're freaking amazing and that you can bloom where you're planted because you're amazing everywhere you are. You're amazing everywhere you are, even in your imperfection, even when you're at your worst place, even when life sucks. Okay, you're still amazing. Just because something isn't how the way you want it to be doesn't mean you're not amazing. It means it sucks, but it doesn't mean you're not amazing. And when you start thinking that way, when you start kind of just giving yourself permission to just, say to yourself, you know what, right now this totally sucks, but I know that there's something special within me. I know that I am amazing. I know there's a greatness within me that maybe doesn't feel like it's expressing right now, but I just know it's there. That's oftentimes how you begin to change things in your life, you know? So you kind of start changing things for the better. And and I know, when things aren't going along very good and it just feels like kind of the world is against you, it's really hard to get to that place. But a lot of times you don't even have to like believe it right now. Sometimes just saying it is enough. Sometimes just saying it is like, you know what? Things suck right now, but I know there's something better in me. I know there's something greater in me. Just not expressing right now, but I believe it to be there, even if you're just saying it. But sometimes just saying it is enough. It's like it'll spark something inside of you that will go, yeah, that's right. That's so right. I am amazing. I am amazing. I am beautiful. I am important. I'm not a loss. I'm not a loser. I'm not invalid because I'm not in my perfection right now. I matter all the time. I have value all the time, even when it doesn't feel like it. And it's okay to remind yourself of that because sometimes we need to be the ones that remind ourselves. Sometimes we don't have people in our world that remind of us how wonderful it is. And the world's a little brutal. The world is kind of a brutal place. There's not a lot of stuff out there that's saying, hey, you're awesome. But I'll tell you, because I know you're awesome. I know you are because I know I am. When I know I am, I can see that in you. And that's part of why I do this coloring stuff too. It's like when we can get into our happy place, when we can get into a happy place, when we can just start like letting go and just start coloring, just kind of being in that happy place. When whatever we do, we're not trying to reach perfection, we're just enjoying for a moment. All of a sudden it's like everything starts coming together. All that stuff we worry about just kind of fades to the background. All the concerns that we have just kind of cease being so damn big. And it feels good for that moment, right? It feels good. It feels good to let go. It feels good to not have to hold on so tight to what we think we have to hold on to the worries, to the concerns, to the coughing. Right? We can just let go. We can just be with the color. Did you know that colors have, like, well, they affect our emotions? Most people know that. But they also, they have frequencies that you can connect. It's almost like the consciousness of a color. I don't know, it sounds crazy. But you can kind of connect to the color and start feeling the color beyond the emotion, beyond what we're told it's supposed to be. Oh, green is for healing. But what is green saying to you right now? Like for me, just right now, just in this moment, green is talking to me about like lushness. Like it wants to be here and it wants to be lush. It wants to be like rich and verdant and yummy and strong. It wants to be strong. It wants to remind us that we're strong. It's kind of what I'm feeling. Kind of what I'm feeling. And you guys will notice I do this all the time. Like when I'm coloring this green in, I'm not coloring to color like every minute little piece just yet. Some of it I am. Like these pieces that are hanging out up in the air up here. I'm going to follow the lines a little bit more. But I'm just getting the green in there. And then we go back in and we'll kind of fine tune everything, right? We'll kind of do some highlighting and stuff. Ooh, look at this. And we'll get to these butterflies up here. We'll get to the butterflies. See, we're starting to get that green going in there. Starting to get the green. I like this green. This green is called pale green. And I really like it. It seems to be a good green, just kind of for the multitude of, especially the stuff that's up here. And remember, what I always like to do too is I love to get this green in here and then kind of go over it with yellow. I'll go over it with the bright yellow, and it gives it kind of a sunshine feeling. So just start going over some of these leaves. Just bring some of this green in here. Some of these little guys that are hanging out back here. There might be leaves. They might be petals. We don't know. Most of this picture here, AI made it. So, half the time I don't even know what it's doing. But it makes these beautiful pictures for us to color. And that's why we're here, right? We're not here to be perfect. We're just here to participate and have a dang good time while we're doing it. Let's get some green down here. Some in here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are really able to relax into what we're doing. And I know there's some people that when they color, they really need to like kind of know what they're doing and get instruction, and that's okay. We're all in different places with their coloring, and I'll tell you, as I do this more and more, I'll have more instruction-y kind of stuff to share with you guys. I'm just starting out on this journey too, and I'm learning a lot as I'm going along. I'm learning a lot. And so as we do this, and my goal is just kind of to get all of you guys just into that happy place of just coming in and coloring, just coming in. I'm going to make the rest of that leaf hang down there. I'm going to add to the picture. You guys see what I did there? I'm going to do that here too. I'm just going to add that in. We can make these leaves. Go right down in there. We'll do a little highlighting and we'll give them permission to be hanging out there. This one too. That one's kind of the bottom end of it. We're gonna give it a point. Look, like I said, it's our painting. We can do what we want with it. What we'll do is we'll get some dark green and we'll kind of highlight that there. Why the heck not? You're the creator of this. Let's make it super fun. Okay, so I've got too much of this green in here, so I got to put this green down. I love this green, but I got to put this down because I have to get some other greeny colors, and I want to get kind of a teal, kind of a pale aqua-y kind of blue down here in the foliage, especially in kind of the darker parts in here. So let's bring some of this in here. And this is where some of this blue is going to come in too, right? I love having blue. And I just kind of do blue, just kind of right over the green, right? So it starts making kind of a blue-green sort of a color. And I fill in some of the grayscale with the blue, if I see where there's any of the white. See how it's starting to give it kind of some, a little bit more depth there? We're going to bring that over to here. I'm going to bring it up into here too. We've got a whole little area here. I'm just going to bring the blue one there. I'm going to bring it into this over here a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much. I kind of went a little overboard there. That's okay though. I do that. I do overboard. I'm an overboard kind of a person. And it's okay. See, bring in some of that. I'm going to bring a little bit of this in here. Ooh, look at that. And it's interesting with art. When you look really close, a lot of times you see like all the weird little things going on in there. But when you get a grander view, right? When you get a broader view, you actually see the picture. You see the meaning, right? You see the meaning that's going on there. So let's get out our fine tip. And we're going to give these leaves here permission. Ooh, we're giving them permission to be here, right? Whoop. Give it a cute little tip. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? There's a little stalk in here I kind of want to define out. It's the one that's holding this big flower. So this is where we've got our kind of our basic colors in here. We got some of our basic stuff going on. And this is where we can come back in and really start defining things too. Right? Like we've got some thicker stalks. I want to define those stalks. And I'm going to start turning the page a little bit on you guys. We've got a leaf here. This stalk comes up here to this plant. I'm just noticing this stalk comes up here to this plant twice. That's okay. So we're going to bring this up. Boop. And bring this leaf up here. There's a little vine that goes through here. I'm going to bring a little bit more dark green up here. I'm going to bring some dark green up to these guys. I think these guys want to be A little bit darker. They want to be seen. They're up here. They're holding this little sunlight high above our heads. So we're going to give them some attention. We're going to bring that down. We're going to bring this stalk down. And I notice we haven't done these yet. So are you seeing how we're getting some definition? We're starting to get some more color in here, some more depth. And I'm just kind of, we have some grace here still that hasn't really decided what it's doing there. What are you doing there? I don't know yet. Okay, that's okay. We have a little bit more pink. I'm not getting too close to the flowers just yet. We're going to give this guy a little bit of permission to be hanging out over here. Isn't that the cutest little thing? Look at that. We still have our butterflies up here. Start thinking about what you want to do with your butterfly. And I think fluorescent pink wants to come out and play a little bit. And fluorescent pink's lid does not want to stay. So I'm going to bring fluorescent pink over here. Ooh, on this flower. You know, those of you that are just starting with me, I use a lot of pink and yellow. For those of you that have been here for a while, I use a lot of pink and yellow. I just love it. You know, it's just happiness. And as we play here more and more, you guys will learn that I'm here for the happy. That's why I started this. I didn't start it to be like a big YouTube show or a big like a money making thing or anything. I'm doing it for the happy. I just wanted to share it with you guys. So it's a little rough around the edges, maybe a little unprofessional, but I'm not here to be all professionally. Let me do some of these outer edges with the hot pink. And you know what happens when you use a lot of the hot pink. And then you bring the yellow over the hot pink. You start getting this beautiful, rich, bright coral color. Right? So let's bring that in here. I'm going to fill out more of this here. And you know what? Also, when we're doing this, you guys, pay attention to how your body feels. Like I have arthritis and I have a lot of pain in my body. And a lot of times I don't feel like doing anything because it hurts. And pain is exhausting, right? But when I color, the pain starts going away. You know? When I color, the pain starts going away. I have moments of where there's no pain. I have moments of where things that I worry about just kind of go away. I have some really good moments. And it's important that we find those moments for ourselves. And coloring is such a great way to do that. Coloring is such a great way to find those moments where there's no pain, there's no worry, there's just happiness. You know, there's just the color, there's just the shapes, there's just the movement with your hand. That's not important. And it's not required to be perfect, you know? There's no requirements here. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, that's not perfect, or that's imperfect, or that's not good enough. Nobody's going to say that to you. The only person that might be saying that to you is yourself. And if you're doing that, cut it out. Stop being mean to yourself. Start being nice to yourself. Because everybody is an artist and everybody has their beautiful, important parts. And we want to acknowledge that for ourselves and for each other. It's important that we acknowledge that for each other too. Look at this. Isn't this fun? It's like this one's a little bit wild, a little bit like, woo, we don't know what we're doing. But this one's a little more like classy. So I'm going to define this a little bit more because I think I'm going to bring yellow. I'm going to bring this yellow, more this yellow. And you know what, too? I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. This is our picture. This is our painting, if you will. That's why I almost said why I stopped. It's our painting, but it is. This is our painting. We're painting. We're creating. And we can do it however we want. If we want all the flowers to be blue, we're allowed. You're allowed. Let your imagination just really open up. What feels good? What are your favorite colors? Like I use fluorescent colors. I was talking about that before. I use fluorescent colors so much. And sometimes, I try to get away from them and I just don't feel complete. I don't. I just get like where I'm going, oh, okay, well, I'm doing it. But when I get the fluorescent colors out, when I start playing with my favorites, I'm just happy. And I'm not here to be a famous artist. I'm here to play. I'm here to just be happy. I'm here to hang out with you. I'm here to hang out with all y'all. Look at me, I'm getting all swattered all over the place. All right, so we're getting close. We're getting close. I always try to keep these under an hour because I know everybody has lives to live. But let's see. I'm going to finish up some of this foliage back in here, but I want like a lighter. I want a light. And you know what? I haven't swatched these yet. I need to swatch them. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to use this kind of darker green. So I know we're getting high up on our hour here. I don't want to take too much more of your guys' time. But let's get in here. I'm going to we got like a whole gray area in here. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of following some of the lines that are here. Actually, we got another leaf that we can enjoy over here. I'm happy I did that. I've never done that before. It's like, hey, we can put a leaf hanging out our picture if we want to, right? I can do it. It's my picture. I can do it if I want to. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, so we're going to get this in here. Now, in the background here, there's kind of what looks like a little bit of a grassy kind of stuff here. I'm just doing kind of some ziggy-zaggy in there. It's kind of depicting grass. It's kind of in the background. It's in the grayscale, right? So it's like it's just kind of background stuff. So let's get this light. I'm going to get the lightest green, a green that I haven't had yet. What is this a light? Ooh, this is kind of a teal green. Ooh. I'm going to bring this into some of our dark areas in here. I was using blue before. This might be a little bit dark. But you know what? I like it though. It brings a new color in. Might be a little bit dark. I want something a little bit lighter, but I'm gonna bring it in here. Especially here. Yeah. Let's bring a little bit more color in here. I was trying to bring some blue in before. Well, Here we go. We got this beautiful teal. And remember, we haven't kind of gone over our stuff with our yellows yet either. So we still have that. I'm not going to do that there. Kind of looking on here, see how that looks. Okay, so now, dun dun dun. I'm going to bring in some bright, I'm going to bring in this fluorescent orange. That's what I've been waiting for to bring in for these babies. Look. Isn't that fun? And I know my friend Christy told me I have to be careful about covering the page when I'm coloring. Thank you, Christy, for helping me with all this stuff. It's nice to have someone, because I'm just out here playing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have to. Neither do you. When we're in the art, it's all about creating. It's all about allowing. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We are taking this all the way through everything. And I'm leaving a little yellow in there, guys. Or little white in there when I'm coloring this in. We're going to bring that yellow in and add that next yellowy bright sunshine dimension to all of this. Right? We're going to do it over here. Oh, I'm so happy. How happy is that? Oh my gosh. Bring this in here. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Chrissy's like, move your head, I can't see. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gonna bring some orange up in here. See, we had some pink in here, kind of faded. We're gonna add some more bright stuff here. Boop, 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 boop. It's official artist sounds. And you know what? I'm gonna outline these butterflies here. I've got the thick part of it. I probably should switch over to the thin. See? Oh. Need their little. Look how happy they are. Look how happy they are. I'm going to just bring in my yellow here to do their little details. We could probably do those details, like put some blue or something on there too in a bit. But now, fluorescent. Let's hit those spots where it's white. Hit the yellow in the middle here. Hit it real good with that fluorescent yellow. Got a little flower here. All that white spot that you've kind of left open, get that yellow in there. I'm going to need to buy like 1,000 of these fluorescent yellow guys. And this is just almost like the tip here. And what's kind of cool is even where the yellow and the pink kind of come together, it kind of makes the orange, but it's a little bit different fluorescently orange color, which is kind of cool. Yummy. Like it's the fluorescent forest. And this whole coloring book that'll have all of this stuff in here will be out. Don't forget to hit some of your foliage too, especially the stuff up here. You kind of think about it like, where would the sun hit all this stuff? Like if the sun were up here, shining this way, where would the sun hit the foliage? And you can just kind of bring that in. This little blue guy over here, he is crying out for some yellow. But now look at this right here. Like there was this little flower right here. He had blue and white. And then when I put the yellow, blue and yellow make green. And so it kind of faded into the background, right? So there's little things like that that you do kind of want to be careful of. Let's bring some yellow into these stocky things here too. I'm also going to bring some of this yellow up here just to bring some more brightness in, like over here. I want brightness, right? I want the brightness. We got this kind of teal. So we know when we bring the yellow in with the teal, it's going to make it a little bit green. So let's bring some yellow into this here. I kind of wanted this to be like lavender, but it just didn't turn out that way. Right. And then this up here is not, but I kind of don't want it to be yellow. Look, isn't that yummy delicious? You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So I want to make this purple. Can I do this purple? And I'm just kind of jiggity jaggeting it out, kind of beyond the, because I know this is probably like another little chrysanthemum. But see how he's just kind of sticking out here? And again, it's like, notice how I have the little jiggity jaggies going rather way out beyond the lines that we're supposed to draw, right? But see how he stands out up there? Just like, here I am. And so we're going to want to bring some purple in a little bit. We might have some white places in here that we can just pull some purple. It could be in flowers. It could be in the trees. It could be maybe down in here. Bring a little purple in here. Oop, I got a spot down here that I haven't colored in yet. Let's bring this purple in. Why the heck not? Purple can be a little bit of the filler color. Any of these little grayscale places that you missed, bring some purple in. And so what that does is it kind of spreads and it lets some of those colors be seen. It kind of balances things out. Maybe over here, got a little grayscale. Bring a little bit of the purple in. It just adds a little bit of that depth. I don't know. I think we're done. I think these little wings want little purple tips on. All right, guys, bloom where you are planted. Look at these beautiful, beautiful flowers that you did. Don't forget to get the yellow up here on these guys. And you could even define the center of your, ooh, yeah, that's good. Now that makes this little sweetie petite. See him a little bit more. Isn't that pretty? What we could do too is we could define this one a little bit more. But we're over an hour now. I don't want to take any more of your time. But I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to do it right now while we're here. So I want to invite you guys. I know on Patreon, and I realized this just a bit ago, that you can't really share your finished photos, and I really want to see them. So we have a Facebook group if you're a Facebookie. Um, and it's called Sacred Space Coloring Corner. And I think I put it, in, but if I didn't, I'll put it in our Patreon group. I'll put the thing on there. Come on over there, join our little group. It is a public group right now, but it's going to be changing to a private group because we're getting more people over there. Um, and come join the group and then share your finished pieces because that's where everybody is sharing. And, we've got some kids and stuff that are coloring things that are sharing. It's so fun. And it's a safe place. Look at that. Oh, in fact, I want to add some pink up here. I just love this little guy. This guy like just went completely beyond any rules or bounds and just made his own place in the world. And I love him for it. All right, guys. I love you. Come on over Facebook, facebook.com/group/Sacred Space Coloring Corner, just like our Patreon name and our Patreon YouTube. And come on over and show me what your finished pieces are. I will post mine over there. And I do this every week. I was doing it on Tuesdays. I'm now doing it on Thursdays, just because my Tuesdays are so busy. And I want to really just relax into this with you guys. I want this to be something that we all just play together. So remember, bloom where you're planted, not backwards, forwards. And I love you. And we'll see you next week. We'll see what we're going to do. We're getting close to Valentine's Day. So that's really fun too. We'll start bringing some heart stuff in. And also, if anybody has suggestions as to what you would like to color, I'm always open to hearing that because sometimes it's hard to come up with the ideas too. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you being here. I so appreciate that you love to color. And I just want to support you and help you in any way over on Patreon. I put out the free coloring pages each week, and we do these Let's Color videos on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And we have the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. And so we're all here together. You can watch this on YouTube too, as I'm sure many of you are. And then also it's live on Patreon, and you get the free page on Patreon. So again, I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next week. Big hug.